Hello everybody, thank you for joining me for part 2 of your weekend love reading from March 13th to March 15th, 2020. I did end up having to split this up into 3 parts. Some of the messages just come through longer than I expect. I don't really put a time limit on the messages I get for specific signs, so that often leads to me pushing the limit of when my phone will cut off the video. So keep in mind that these can apply to any aspect of your chart. I do implore you to have your chart open while we do this reading. If you do not have a placement of the sign being done, keep in mind you do have that sign in a house. We are in the midst of shadow period of Mercury retrograde, even though Mercury just went direct on the 10th. The shadow period does last until the 17th. Oftentimes it's very reminiscent of what we experienced during the regular retrograde period, so do not be surprised if those same messages come through. But that said, I'm going to go ahead and cut right into it. Keep in mind time and energy are fluid. These messages can apply to you or another person or vice versa. Just take it as it resonates and don't force it if it doesn't fit. This video is going to be part 2, Leo through Scorpio, because we're doing 3 parts. So yeah. Hello Leo, hope you're doing well. Keep in mind that this reading can apply to any aspect of your chart. If you do not have Leo in your chart and you are a cross-watcher, I do not judge you. Keep in mind that you do have Leo in one of your houses. So I do implore you to have this chart open, have your chart open while we do this reading. Keep in mind time and energy are fluid. While this is set to be a love reading between you and another person, these messages can apply to you or the other person or vice versa, so don't force it if it doesn't fit. But that said, we're going to go and see what Spirit has in store for you for the weekend of March 13th to March 15th, 2020. We do have Prince of Pentacles reverse, we have Princess of Cups reverse, and we have the Nine of Wands, but then we have the Lovers at the bottom of the deck, and this is a very interesting energy, because it's essentially I'm being shown that both people have decided to not make a decision due to fear. And so it's this energy of both of you being afraid to either step away or move forward. There's this unspoken need to define what it is that is happening between both of you. And it's like this Nine of Wands right here is representing that kind of, it's like, it's passionate, but it's like almost too intense to the point where there needs to be a taming of each other's energies, where you need to essentially learn to kind of stay grounded in the relationship, if that makes sense. It's like, if you are having trouble kind of finding that balance within the relationship, like if things get too intense, it doesn't always have to be a bad thing, but like there's still this need to not make important decisions when you're like super angry, but on that same hand, like don't make super important decisions when you may be feeling super happy, because those really intense highs and fleeting emotions can often impact our conscious decision making in ways that we may perhaps regret at a later time. So we're going to clarify a bit of the energies here for you, Leo. See what's going on. Because we have the Prince, so it's like a counterpart type of energy, right? You got the Prince of Pentacles and the Princess of Cups reverse. So the Prince and the Princess, they are different suits. This can represent an earth sign or a water sign. It can be in your chart, their chart. It can go any which way. But this definitely does feel like something, feels like a situationship, I'll be honest. Spirit's telling me it is. Let's figure out what's going on between you two and what we can get you, what kind of advice can we get for you. So we have the Moon. We have the Knight of Swords reverse, Moon reverse, Knight of Swords reverse, Seven of Pentacles. Oh, 4 Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So. Well, Leo, I'm being told that, like, I'm being shown the Moon and the 4 Pentacles. And the fact that they're in the reverse, you need to essentially learn how to let go of what is holding you back and what has always held you back. Not only in love and relationships, but in all aspects of your life. Because I'm just picking up on this feeling, there's this like really deep underlying issue, is like really, really deeply rooted. It feels like divine feminine trauma, wounding. It could be related to like, like mother issues. But essentially there's this need to heal the feminine aspects of yourself right now. This did come out for the Cancer reading, I believe. There is a sense of a divine partnership, and the divine masculine was healing the divine feminine aspects, but the divine feminine was also healing the divine feminine aspects. Keep in mind, not gender specific, we all have those energies within us. But yeah, with the Knight of Swords in reverse, it's almost as if you're not speaking clearly because you're not feeling clearly. Like, you're not processing your emotions in a way that is conducive to you having constructive conversations. And that's why I feel like there's this stalemate, because it's like as if you're both influencing each other in a way that is causing you both to feel unsure about where the relationship is going or which direction you want it to go, if you even want to take it in that direction. But in order to come to that clarity, there needs to be some inner work that needs to be done. Given we are in the last legs of Mercury's shadow, ends on the 17th, now's a perfect time for that, you know what I mean? It's a perfect time. Saturn's going to be moving into Aquarius soon. It's going to be a little bit more lighthearted than the Capricornian energy was, but then we have the retrograde and it's going to be moving back into Capricorn for a little bit. But that's in the future. We're doing this for now, so let's see what we got. Let me get a closing message for you, Leo. We have Hummingbird. Turn away from infidelity so that love may blossom. I don't even feel like I need to read the booklet. I mean, I feel like that's message enough, you know what I mean? So it's like if you're weighing your options with other people, if you're kind of playing this cat and mouse game and you're kind of keeping people on the side, even though you think this person doesn't know, there's a very good chance that they do, especially if they know you well enough. If you've known them long enough and you've been involved with them romantically long enough, keep in mind that like people often get insight through their higher self, or they get messages from their guides that will often let them know like if there's something going on that they need to get away from. And so whether this is you or another person, there's this sense of needing to make the decision to commit to one person, and if you're not comfortable with that, don't drag somebody along who wants that commitment, because it's only prolonging the pain for both of you, and it's just adding fuel to the karmic fire that is being brought to light in this situation. So, closing message for you, Leo, is like, get real with yourself. Do you want to be with this person? Do you not want to be with this person? Do you want to be with somebody else? Whatever that is, like, own it, accept it, and move forward from there. But that's all I got for you for this weekend, Leo. If you would like to book a personal reading, please send me an email to jzargoshepard@gmail.com. I love you so much, but that does conclude your part for this weekend. Okay. Alrighty. Oops. Hello, Virgo. Hope you're doing well. Keep in mind that this reading can apply to any aspect of your chart. If you do not have a Virgo placement and you are a cross-watcher, I do not judge you. But keep in mind that you will have Virgo in your house, even if you don't have a placement. So I do implore you to have your chart open while we do this reading. Keep in mind, time and energy are fluid. While this reading is set out for the weekend of, this weekend, 13th to the 15th, this can apply at any time you watch it. And even though it may be about you and another person, it may be about something you need to heal, regardless, time and energy are fluid, so these messages can apply to you, another person, vice versa. If it doesn't fit, don't force it. But let's see what we got for you for weekend and love. We have the Six of Cups reverse. You got a Prince of Cups. We got the Seven of Swords reverse, and then at the bottom of the deck we have, Seven of Wands reverse. Okay. So, I'm feeling like you may be feeling very nostalgic, right? The Six of Cups reverse is often representative of the sense of nostalgia to the point of detriment, you know what I mean? You're focusing too much on the past. It's like you're looking at the past through rose-colored glasses and you're not seeing it for what it is. And it's almost as if you want to be this Prince of Cups and you want to it doesn't feel like this energy of wanting to like ride forward to somebody, but it's this sense of like dwelling so much on the fact that you really, like, there's a sense of not necessarily knowing what happened, not knowing why things ended up the way they did, but it's like almost like you kind of know, like I'm getting this feelings like you kind of like have an idea why it ended, but you're not 100% clear on that, and you don't fully have the closure that you may need to come to a sense of peace with the ending that you may be facing, or maybe you're in a relationship and you're kind of missing the way things used to be, and you're kind of wondering like, wow, like how has it gotten to this point? Like it feels like the magic is gone, you know what I mean? But I think one important thing to understand when it comes to any relationship, just because it feels like the magic gone doesn't mean the relationship is coming to a close. Sometimes that just means that the initial high of the relationship is winding down, and now the work of the relationship begins. If you're looking at it like a business, you know what I mean? Let's say like you're looking at this relationship like a business. You just got some investors, you have your business plan, everything's looking good. You get that first check to get started, but then you realize like the high of getting the deal is wearing off, and now you're kind of seeing how much work you actually have to do. Maybe it's a little bit more than you bargained for, or maybe more than you were expecting, but now you're kind of presented with the opportunity to decide if you do want to put in the work. Because a lot of the times, I mean, in my opinion, I feel like relationships can very well be lifelong commitments if you decide to stick with one person, but you don't always have to. And I think that's the beautiful part of time and energy being so fluid, and love being such a thing as it is. You don't have to stick around out of obligation. If things have changed and shifted, sometimes it's best to come to that acceptance. So let's clarify. We have the Six of Cups clarifying the Six of Cups. Honestly, I don't know what else you want me to say there. We have the Two of Pentacles reverse. We have the Hermit reverse. So bottom of the deck. Four of Swords reverse. So yeah, Spirit's telling me it's like you gotta put up or shut up. Honestly, as harsh as that is, that was the message that was coming through. So you gotta put up or shut up, Virgo. You gotta decide whether you want to continue with this. The Hermit in reverse is telling me that now isn't the time to dwell on the past. Now isn't the time to kind of fall back and just leave somebody waiting and wondering. And you gotta be upfront with this person, you know, especially if this somebody has been somebody who's been down for you for a while now. If you're not feeling the same, maybe you should try talking to him about it. You'd be surprised how many times people are more than willing to work through things and be quite understanding, depending on what it is you're feeling. So let's get a closing message here for you. We do have the Four of Swords reverse. Four of Swords in the upright kind of is to me the minor arcana version of the Hermit, because the Hermit represents that internal solitary energy. Four of Swords represents needing to take a break. It can represent, you know, space or needing to take space. But I'm being told it's like right now isn't the time to sit on your loins, or sit on your laurels. What is it? Not your loins, excuse me. Sit on your laurels. Rest on your laurels, right? It's like you may have put in some work, but it's like there's still work to be done. And the Two of Pentacles in the reverse is essentially a reminder that you don't have to juggle your needs with the needs of another person, but there needs to be an open dialogue about what it is you're feeling. And this came out for another sign too. I forgot which it is, but we have the Kangaroo. As events take on their own momentum, you take a true leap forward. So it's kind of letting the cards fall where they may, learning to accept the situation for what it is, communicate where you can. If this is somebody that decided to walk away, or is this a past person where the relationship has ended for whatever reason, it's really a message of learning to come to terms with that. And it's like, don't let that hold you back from putting yourself out there. Don't let that hold you back from living your life and loving everything that you do have going good for you in your life. And it's also a very important reminder to appreciate what you do have, opposed to focusing on what is not working out for you in the moment. But that is all I have for you, Virgo. I love you so much. If you'd like to book a personal reading, please send me an email to jzargoshepard@gmail.com. But that does conclude the reading for the day. But it is water time, so give me a second. Oh no. Hello Libra, hope you're doing well. Keep in mind that this reading can apply to any aspect of your chart. If you are a cross-watcher, I do not judge you, but keep in mind that while you may not have your Libra placements, you do have Libra in one of the houses in your natal chart, so I do implore you to have your natal chart open while we do this reading, as it will help provide insight into whatever messages come through for you. With that said, keep in mind time and energy are fluid. Even though this is set out for this weekend and a love reading, these messages can apply to you or another person or vice versa at any time. So if it doesn't don't. If it doesn't fit, don't force it. Okay, I'm gonna shuffle here for you. We're gonna get some insight for the weekend of the 13th to the 15th for Libra. Love. We have, what is that? Six of Wands reverse. Seven of Pentacles. That is a Seven of Pentacles, isn't it? 10 of Pentacles, and then we have Three of Wands. Three of Swords reverse. Trying to move. I'm gonna have to move the card because it's starting to get darker, so the lighting naturally will kind of shift. See if I can get it to stay in frame. So, Three of Swords reverse. It's kind of like with the 10. Well, it's the overall energy. It's the bottom of the deck, and so it's like you're coming out of this stage of heartbreak, is what I'm being shown. The 10 of Pentacles is telling me that you're coming to the end of some very arduous karmic cycles for a very good reason, and that is the reason the heartbreak is closing out. It's like the Six of Wands reverse. Whatever it was you were building with this person feels like it may have come to a standstill, or it may be closing out. Not always a fun thing to hear, but there's a sense of needing to accept what's leaving your life, you know? And especially if it's like, I'm being told it's like, if something starts during Mercury retrograde, that's usually a good indication that it may not last long. Not always the case, but just my own personal experience and from what I've heard and read. Like really trying to build a deep new foundation with somebody during Mercury retrograde, while possible, can prove to be difficult due to the difficulties in communication. Oftentimes, we need to be very, very mindful of the things we say and do, and recognize that they are more potent when the energies are as they are right now. So we're going to go and clarify a bit for you here, Libra, and see what we got going for you. See if we can get some insight here for you. We have the, what is that? King of Wands. Four of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles reverse. King of Wands reverse, excuse me. And the Devil reverse. I'm actually going to, I think I'm going to move them up because I think it's probably not even in frame. So, yeah. It's basically, what I'm being told is like the fact that we have the Devil in the reverse clarifying this Three of Swords reverse. It's like that kind of like that devilish energy, or maybe that kind of those, I don't know, maybe like malevolent entities that you maybe feel were poking at you for a while with this heartbreak. Feels like that's kind of coming to an end, you know what I mean? It's as if there is a final sense of closure in the situation. King of Wands reverse kind of feels like this other person. It's like you're learning to let go, but it's like also a reminder to not hold on too tightly. And if you are going to hold on, recognize that that's going to keep you in the repetition of the same cycle you may have been trying to get out of. If you've been trying to get out of this heartbreak period or this period of difficulty, you need to kind of, you just got to see it for what it is. I mean, as vague as it is, see it for what it is, let it go when it needs to be let go, and don't hold on too tightly. You know what I mean? Sometimes love is fleeting, and I know it can be tough. I know it can be something we may not want to face, but sometimes we have to. So let's get a final closing message here for you, Libra. You know, I'm so sorry that this wasn't more of a loving message, but this is really what's coming through for you right now. I gotta say it as it is with the cards. So let's get a final animal message. We have the Bison. So it says, recognize the riches of the past and the abundance of the present. So I think this is just a reiteration of the message that was coming through with these cards. You know, give thanks for everything you've been through with this person, even if it's ended. You know, it happened for the reason of bringing you to where you need to be, if that's any consolation. But really just learn to enjoy yourself enough to recognize that you don't have to be happy all the time. Like, it's okay to be sad, it's okay to, like, be heartbroken, but, like, also recognize that it's okay to, like, not be those things too. Like, you don't have to be heartbroken, you don't have to not be heartbroken. And if there's a sense of feeling guilty because you're already getting over somebody so quickly, that just means you're really, really good at processing your emotions, and you're transmuting the emotions, and you're not dwelling like you used to, which is a beautiful thing. So that's actually a nice way to close the reading for you, because it's like, it's this kind of reminder of, like, you're not who you used to be, and just because you may be having an easier or a harder time does not mean that you're going to continue to repeat the same situation, so long as you're learning the lessons presenting themselves to you. But that does conclude your reading for the weekend. I love you so much, Libra, and I hope you have a beautiful weekend. So let's see. You're looking to book a personal reading, I forgot to say, please send me an email to jzargoshepard@gmail.com. Hello, Scorpio. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a beautiful week. Keep in mind that this reading can apply to any aspect of your chart. If you do not have Libra on your chart, or excuse me, I just did Libra. If you do not have Scorpio on your chart, you are a cross-watcher. I do not judge you. But keep in mind that while you may not have a Scorpionic placement, you will have it in a house in your chart. That said, I do implore you to have your chart open while we do this reading. Keep in mind time and energy are fluid. So this message can apply to you or another person or vice versa at any time. If it doesn't fit, don't force it. But let's see what we got for you this weekend. We have the King of Pentacles reverse. We have the Nine of Cups reverse. Queen of Wands, the Upright, and then the Chariot. So it's feeling like you're in the space of needing to move away from the selfish energies of other people. I feel like there's a fine line to taking care of oneself and recognizing the fact that you need to do what you need to do to make yourself happy, but also understanding when there's a tinge of manipulation to that. Because we have the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. So it can be a counterpart situation. Feels more karmic to me than anything. You may be coming out of that with somebody. You may be coming to the understanding that somebody that you may have wanted to build things with may just have turned their backs, is what I'm being shown. It's like, it's as if this person has kind of turned their back on you because they recognize the fact that you were being a little bit reckless. I don't like to be the bearer of bad news, but it's like Spirit's kind of showing me that you may have both actually been embodying this Nine of Cups reverse, very selfish, indulgent energy, to the point of detriment to both of you. And so it's as if this person has recognized the fact that the only way for things to really move forward, whether with you or without you, is to take a step back and to let things kind of heal and balance themselves out. They may just be in a stage of needing to heal, honestly. And you have to kind of accept your role in that. If you have hurt this person or if they have hurt you, there is the need to come to that understanding and acceptance for the pain that it may have occurred in the situation. So let's get a little bit of clarifying energies for you, Scorpio. Let's see. We have the Ten of Cups reversed, clarifying the King of Pentacles. We have the Wheel of Fortune reversed, clarifying the Nine of Cups reversed. We have the High Priestess reverse, and then we have the Fool reverse. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's just feeling like Karma Central. If I'm being real with you, I mean, the Wheel of Fortune reverse often represents, karmic, I don't want to say retribution because it sounds more vindictive than it actually is, but it's just kind of the karmic wheel turning, the wheel of the universe turning in the way it needs to turn. The High Priestess in the reverse represents the fact that the veil has been lifted, you're lifted and you're seeing things for how they are, coming to accept the fact that there may not be a chance to renew the situation with the Fool in the reverse, but it doesn't always mean that it can't be renewed, but it won't be renewed in the way that it used to be. And so if things are meant to come back, if you two are ever going to come back together, if it ever comes back to fruition, just know that it may not be in the way you have wanted, or if it does happen in a way that you may have wanted, it may not be as unhealthy as it used to be. And that's kind of the reason there is this kind of back-turned energy, whether you turned your back on somebody else or this person turned their back on you. It's to make sure that this does not repeat itself. It's to make sure that these things do not continue to go down the path that you may have been trying to walk away from for a while now. So let's see here. Ten of Wands. No. 10 of Cups. Always with the tens for some reason, regardless of the deck. The 10 of Cups in the reverse. That to me, while it's in the upright, can represent ultimate fulfillment. This can also represent the closing of karmic cycles, but within love. But given it's in the reverse, it's just like a reiteration of why this Wheel of Fortune is here. This is kind of letting you know, like, there's space right now, there is a separation in order to do out with that Nine of Cups reverse energy. Closing message for you, Scorpio, because I am messing up every single Cup card today, apparently. So let's see, we have the Tortoise. Tortoise says, when changes are made for the sake of change itself, resist. I'm going to read it from the book, actually, because I know that definition's a bit vague. I do remember the book definition has a little bit more depth to it, so let's see. Where is it? Tortoise. It says, older than dinosaur, embodiment of ancient wisdom and living testament to the wonder of her form, unchanging tortoise plods on through time. Like tortoise, resist change for novelty's sake. Be true to your way of living, your partner, and your creativity, lest you destroy something more wonderful than you yet know. Tortoise also counsels constructing a mental carapace to protect yourself from the unjustified criticisms of others, for as tortoises hatchlings emerge from their shells, perfect, you two were born flawless. So I'm kind of picking up on a final closing message here that you, I don't know, it's like you both need to kind of like let each other off the hook, if that makes sense. It's like there's clearly like a lot of love there. I feel like there's a lot of love with you and this other person, but there needs to be a sense of forgiveness. And again, keep in mind, like, forgiveness is done at its own pace, and you don't have to force forgiveness, but realize the fact that the person you may have known and the way they may have known you is in the past. It seems like you both have moved past this energy because of the fact that you both have been separated for a while. And just understand the fact that, like, I don't know, like, even though things may be slow moving on the physical, spiritually, energetically, things are often moving a lot more than you may know. If you're tuned and tapped into that, then you have no problem understanding that for sure. But that's a closing message for you here. That's it for your weekend reading. I love you so much, Scorpio. If you'd like to book a personal reading, please send me an email to jzargoshepard@gmail.com. But that does conclude part 2 of the love readings for this weekend. If you would like to book a personal reading, please send me an email to jzargoshepard@gmail.com. I have details in the description as long as other videos that I do have out. But that concludes part 2, excuse me. I will actually see you in part 3. I love you so much and hope you have a fantastic weekend. Bye.